It is great pleasure to meet you today. I want to ask you, you have studied China, Silicon Valley, and the New World Order for years. Now that you are in Almaty, what role can Central Asia play in the global AI economy?
Well, I wrote my book, AI Superpowers, which was about the world order we discussed. And I wrote it in 2018. I think everything I predicted has come true, the good and the bad. So one of the predictions I made is that US and China are bound to lead the world in AI, which is exactly what's happening. I also think it would be very hard to be number 3 because these two are so strong. But there will be a number of quote-unquote middle powers, the powers that export rather than import AI, that leverage AI, build value, that has good AI education, that's early adopter of AI. And I think Kazakhstan can be one of those 20 or 30 middle powers. And that's a good thing to aspire to. Central Asia as a whole, I think Kazakhstan by far has the best chance.
Thank you. You call this era AI 2.0. What is the biggest difference between today's AI and the AI we knew before?
Well, the old AI nobody knows. No one listening to this podcast would know because those were the days before ChatGPT. Back then, AI was a pattern recognition. It recognized speech and faces. It could do single things like recommendation engine, but you have to train the model for each task. So now with the age of LLMs, AIs become general. So they understand broadly. You can have a dialogue with AI. You can ask it to do generally anything. You can ask it to do general research. So the generality, the fact that you don't need to train specific models for every single task, makes this generally applicable and widely used. So AI 2.0 is about the idea of taking the whole world's data to train a very large LLM that becomes very, very powerful.
Thank you so much. Do you think AI will become a basic public utility like electricity or internet?
It already has. It already has. It's just that because water in most parts of the world is a commodity utility. Electricity is a valuable but still commodity utility.
Yeah.
However, AI is a premium utility. It's a utility that costs a lot of money because your pipe is not delivering electricity or water. It's delivering intelligence.
Yeah.
It's delivering problem solving. So the quality and the value and what people are willing to pay is astronomically higher for this kind of utility. Now, of course, there's very expensive super smart models. There is much cheaper smart but not super smart models. So the prices are different, but all of them are super smart. So it is and isn't utility. It's utility in the sense that it's readily available, everybody needs it, and it's sold in quantities, but it's different in the sense that it can really be very, very valuable. The other difference is that the similarity is with AI and electricity, they can power many things. Yeah. Electricity can power your television, microwave, washing machine, car, and so on. And AI can power your all kinds of things like chatbot or agents, customer service, strategy planning, and so on. So they are both utility also in the sense that they power a lot of applications. So in that sense, I think they are similar. Yeah.
Thank you so much. In your book, AI 2041, you predicted the future. Since then, has AI moved faster than you expected?
A little bit faster. I predicted about 20 years when AI conquers the world. Now it looks like it may be more like 10 years. But the trajectory is correct. I predicted ChatGPT. I predicted that there would be fine-tuned models there will be applications. I predicted we'd get close to AGI. I predicted a lot of data would be collected. I predict multimodal. I predict the progress in quantum. I predicted the use of AI in warfare, and we're seeing that, whether it's Russia, Ukraine, or Middle East. I predicted the issue about the loss of jobs, the future of jobs, the future of work, AI replacing work. How do people find new meaning? So everything that everyone is discussing can be found in a book that I wrote about 5 years ago.
Yeah. And the last question, if you could give one prediction for the rest of this decade, what would be?
I can give many predictions. AI will win the Nobel Prize. AI will cure some major diseases. Probably not cancer, but maybe some types of cancer. AI will create at least 5 major disasters. Not because AI is bad, but because bad people use them to do terrible things. Stealing billions of dollars, hurting thousands of lives, and things like that. So AI, like any other technology, is a double-edged sword. And I think, we look forward to all the good things it can do, but we also have to be careful that bad people will use it to do bad things. So for which we really need to be ready and have the right regulations in place so that there are serious consequences that can hopefully mitigate the amount of damage that AI might do.
In regulation of AI, which country we can give like example? In regulation of AI.
I think Kazakhstan is leading in the regulation. We see a lot of new regulations and even some changes in the constitution that have to do with requiring to display potentially deep fake and also to have absolute respect for the privacy. I think these are worthy, stake in the ground to put. That because people have to understand these are major risks. On the other hand, they are not easy to enforce. But I think someone has to tell the world, we believe this is bad, so stop it. In addition, I think there needs to be regulations for any crime committed using AI, use the pre-existing law code to punish the perpetrator, right? Those kinds of things have to be established. And I think in some cases where there is judgment on severity of punishment, I think there needs to be somewhat on the severe side, because without that kind of deterrence, it's just become so easy for people to use AI to steal money, to lie to people, to mislead people, to spread misinformation. So if each of these things, if there's deliberate use, significant damage, and willfulness in doing so, and in a malicious way, I think the punishment needs to be severe so that it will become a deterrent for other people not to do it.
Some experts say that even judgment will be AI. How many years we need to see it?
Well, judgment is at every different level. People make judgment all the time. You make a judgment. Do you run the yellow light, or do you stop the car, right? You make a judgment. Do you buy a hamburger or do you buy a pizza? So those judgments, are trivial. But I think as AI commoditizes intelligence, humans retreat to judgment. And the more complex the judgment, the more it will be human. The more right brain the judgment, the more it will be human. If you think about the left brain and the right brain, the left brain is about engineering, execution, and AI is very good at that, and it's commoditizing it. So it's not unfair to say AI is commoditizing intelligence, just like electricity commoditized muscle, and the internet commoditized distance. So coming back to the right brain, there are many attributes of right brain that AI cannot do. Because what is AI all about? AI is about taking previous data, using it to predict new decisions, judgments, or data, right? So for things for which there's no previous data or no way to get any data, AI can't do anything. So I'll give you 4 examples of what I call the strategic core in the new leadership in the AI era. That is, what kind of human will excel working with AI? With AI doing left brain, human doing right brain.
Yeah.
So one is taste, right? Taste means it's something that's intrinsic, intuitive,
Yeah.
that we feel its beauty, its comfort, it's appealing, right? It's not something you can judge by data.
Yeah.
Also, it's empathy, because I know people will like it, but there's no data saying so, right? Coco Chanel,
Yeah.
right, deciding to change women's fashion
Yeah.
to this, right? Beautiful yet comfortable,
Yeah.
as opposed to beautiful but very painful to wear.
Yeah.
She knew that other women had that issue, and she was empathetic.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's taste. The second one I would say is foresight, the ability to predict the future,
Yeah.
but not based on data from the past. Steve Jobs inventing the iPhone, right? Inventing a new way of charging money through iTunes
Yes.
for music, inventing the iPad, inventing the Macintosh, inventing Pixar to create animated films. These are efforts that are about foresight. And foresight means you know what people want, but they don't know yet that they want it. But by the time you build it, they will say, wow, we want it. So that is the feeling why data can't do it. Because if you survey users of 20 years ago, do you want an iPhone? No one will say, what's an iPhone? I don't know. Multi-touch, what's that? But when you build it and give it to them, they fall in love with it. So that foresight, I think, is valuable. The third is conviction. When you're just sure something is right. When Jeff Bezos says selling books is right, the internet is suitable for e-commerce, he was alone, but he had the conviction,
Yeah.
right? And when he decided to do AWS, which is a very strange thing for a bookseller to do. Why should an e-commerce seller sell cloud, which is a technology? But he knew he was right. There's no data of any e-commerce or tech internet company becoming a cloud company.
Yeah.
A cloud company of those years is always a pure tech company like Google, Microsoft.
Yeah.
But they did cloud and they won. So that is conviction, right? That you know in your gut you're better, you can do it, even though the conventional wisdom, Wall Street, disagree. And then the last one is courage. When Elon Musk made a lot of money from PayPal, spent it all. He spent his last penny, he was about to go bankrupt on the last effort for SpaceX to launch a rocket.
Yeah.
And if that failed, he would be bankrupt today.
Yeah.
So AI doesn't have that kind of
Courage.
existential
Yeah.
threat. Therefore, it doesn't need the courage to do something crazy,
Yeah.
right? On an equation of return on investment, the return is good, but the cost, the risk is so large that it requires so much courage for a human to make a bet that is against all odds,
Yeah.
but he believed in it and he had the courage.
Yeah.
So this is the kind of leadership we need to move towards.
Yeah. Thank you so much,
You're
Dr.
welcome.
Lee. Thank
Okay.
you so much for being here today
Yeah.
with us.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.